Welcome to the Church in the Wild podcast. You'll be hearing the words from worship from Sunday, July 26, 2026, where we conclude our series on the body. If you want to find out more about Church in the Wild and all of our upcoming events and programs, just go to churchinthewild.org. Thanks for listening.
All right, so hi, I'm Barb, and Corey's going to tell us how our bodies can be conduits of energy and light today. And there are lots of organisms in nature that are actually able to produce real light, like literal light, more than I realized. I didn't realize that there are mushrooms that glow in the dark. Did you all know this already? Some people? Well, I didn't. I didn't realize that almost 75% of deep sea creatures glow when they need to as well. We've all seen fireflies, and they've been really active around my house the last month or so. And there's something so magical about seeing them, their lights flashing all around in the darkness on a summer night. So I'll spoil the magic with some science about how it actually works. But all the organisms, the ones in the ocean, all of them, the mushroom, that glow, they use a process called bioluminescence. And they use the same chemicals to do it, too. And the chemical that glows is called luciferin. I went down a rabbit hole. It has nothing to do with Lucifer. If luciferin gets mixed with oxygen, and there's an enzyme called luciferase, and if that's present, then the light show gets going. It's actually a pretty simple reaction. And fireflies can control the on and off switch by controlling whether they let oxygen into their glow organ or not. And so they can literally turn it on and off that way. And both sexes use the light to attract mates. And it's also a warning to predators that they've got nasty tasting chemicals, so stay away. There are many types of mushrooms that have the same luciferin and can create an eerie blue-green glow at night. I do want to know, by show of hands, who's seen them, though?
Oh, I've seen them.
Glowing at night?
A bunch. I feel like they haven't been around for a while, and now all of a sudden they're back.
So you go out at night and you see glowing mushrooms.
Where did you find them?
Apparently, right? Well, so I'm jealous because yeah.
Not like in abundance, but I've seen like a few flying around where you're like, and I'm like, oh wow, look at that.
Flying around a mushroom.
Oh, girl, I thought we were talking about.
Oh, no, fireflies, definitely.
We've seen those too.
No glowing mushrooms. Okay.
Except for that big one.
We had some here that I was told would glow under black light.
Oh, okay. I think that your husband would know better, but I think that's a different process. But so anyway, the jack-o'-lantern mushroom is one of the most common ones around here that glows, and it's a blue-green glow at night, and it's bright orange during the day, and it's very poisonous to eat, and it grows on rotting logs in damp forests. It's around New York State. Apparently, it's a lot of them in Harriman State Park by Bear Mountain down there by the Hudson River, if anybody knows where that is, but they have them in parks in Niagara Falls and all around. So I don't go into the forest at night, but if you do, you might see them. This eerie glow in the night forest is actually where the term foxfire came from. And it was mentioned by Aristotle in 382 BC when he first observed the mysterious lights. It's also called fairy fire. And scientists think the glowing might help attract insects that help spread the spores of the fungus, but it could also be a warning to predators that it's poisonous. Then in the oceans, there's all kinds of eerily glowing organisms, and they use the same bioluminescence reaction that the land organisms do. And there's a fish, I've been fascinated by this fish since I was literally a child. I remember doing a report on this, called the anglerfish, that lives very deep down where there's very little light filtering through the water. And they have a lure that protrudes from their head, like a fishing pole, that hangs down right in front of their mouths. And the bioluminescence causes the lure part right here at the tip to glow, and it draws curious prey in, and obviously they get eaten. And about half of all jellyfish have the ability to glow. And one type that makes its tentacles glow can detach a glowing tentacle to distract a predator and let the tentacle float away glowing. And the predator will chase the glowing tentacle, and then the jellyfish gets away. And my favorite are the harmless little comb jellies. They don't sting, they're harmless, and they light up with a blue glow. And I was doing an outdoor education camp in Montauk, Long Island one summer, and we'd go down to the water at night to see them. They'd come in close to shore at night, so there were lots of them, and we could actually stand right there in the water with them, and they were all around and just glowing blue. It was like a very cool experience. Some squid are able to glow. There's a squid that shoots a cloud of glowing liquid instead of ink, and it can disappear and escape that way. And then also, bonus, whenever whatever has been chasing it gets covered with the glowing liquid, and then it's easy prey for other animals to attack. And then there's also algae that just glow, and they make entire waves glow at night with this blue glow. So now there's actually glowing plants that have been genetically engineered for bioluminescence. They splice the glow genes, mostly from the jellyfish, onto other organisms and onto this plant's DNA. And you can order them online, apparently, so your gardens glow at night. They've even genetically engineered cats and other animals to glow. If you've never seen that, Google that right up. To help track genes that have been inserted in the animal for research. They can tell if the gene made it in because it's got this glow tag associated with it. And then if the cats and the offspring glow, they know the gene is in there. But for me, the true wonders are the naturally glowing organisms, and you cannot help but be in awe when you see them.
Hi, I'm Missy, and today's poem is by Mary Oliver, titled Poem, The Spirit Likes to Dress Up. The spirit likes to dress up like this: 10 fingers, 10 toes, shoulders, and all the rest. At night, in the black branches, in the morning, in the blue branches of the world. It could float, of course, but would rather plumb rough matter. Airy and shapeless thing, it needs the metaphor of the body, lime and appetite, the oceanic fluids. It needs the body's world, instinct and imagination, and the dark hug of time, sweetness and tangibility, to be understood, to be more than pure light that burns, where no one is. So it enters us in the morning, shines from brute comfort like a stitch of lightning, and at night lights up the deep and wondrous drownings of the body like a star.
Hi, I'm Deanna, and I'm a human. Our wisdom today comes from The Wisdom of Your Body by Hilary McBride. Embodiment is the conscious knowing of and the living of the body, not as a thing distinct from the self or the mind. It is the how, what, why, where, and who of existence, the ground zero of consciousness, of present moment living. It is to be present to yourself and your experience from the inside out. So embodiment is a coming home, a remembering of our wholeness, and a reunion with the fullness of ourselves. Your body is the place where the divine dwells. You always have the direct and imminent access to the divine. That is something comforting, sometimes healing, and sometimes a reminder that you do not have to keep trying to earn love. You can access it always. Join me in the response to this wisdom in the program. Our bodies house the divine spark of life. May we live as holy, holy human beings.
Thank you. Wow, we have been talking embodied living. What it is to have a body on this planet. It's not always easy. So we've been talking about it all month. I feel like we could talk about it forever. But we've talked about our earth-body connection, how we are interdependent with every other being that has body here on this planet. We talked about body language, not in the way we communicate with each other, but how our body communicates to us, and how we communicate to our bodies, right? Are we saying nice, kind things to our bodies? Can we thank our bodies and give thanks for all the different parts? I think we can, and it's good for us according to science and ancient wisdom. And then last week we talked about taking care of our bodies, and that includes our brain, right? Our brain is a part of our body. I think sometimes we think about our mind as this higher thing separate from our body, but really our brain is doing so much automatically as part of the soft animal of our body, right? And it does things it thinks it's supposed to do to keep us safe, and sometimes it can overdo some things. So we talked about taking care of our bodies, that great verse last week. Where was it from? Was it Exodus, Chris? You read it. From who was running from God? Elijah. Not running from God, running from Jezebel. And the angels were like, sleep and have something to eat, please. Like, take care of your body. A lot of times that's the first place to start. But then we talked about how a regulated body becomes trustworthy terrain for all the other parts of life to fully be able to integrate. We can't learn well when we're always on edge and scared and nervous, or we're having all kinds of inner emotions. We can't integrate new ideas. We can't be creative. You know, when we're not a regulated body, we can't do a lot of the wonderful things that humans get to do in life. So we talked about, you know, completing the stress cycle and how we can help our brains to chill out a little bit and to join, you know, the spirit and find some calm within. So this week we're concluding our conversation on bodies with a discussion on energy. Bodies of light is what I titled this talk today, because I really believe as much as we are bodies of flesh and bone, we are equal parts energy, right? If we were just flesh and bone, we'd be dead bodies if we didn't have energy flowing through us all the time. And we represent energy with, a lot of times, light. And that's one way of understanding energy. Every culture throughout human history has had a word or philosophy or understanding of our energy. So primarily, just because I've recently gone back to acupuncture, I really leaned into the Chinese understanding of Chinese medicine, talking about qi, which is just the letters QI. That's how they spell qi. So our qi is our life force, and that includes our blood, our ability to move, the warmth we put out, and our personality or our spirit. Those are the things they understand encompassing qi. So every living human, every mammal puts out heat, right? We all have this life force within us, and we know plants have a different way of understanding qi, right? Amphibians and reptiles, they also have their own characteristics of their qi. They don't create warmth necessarily, but they can move, they have personality, and they have blood or other similar liquids pumping through them. So every human life has life force within them. And so a body is dead when all of these things go away, right? When we're not moving, when our blood isn't pumping, when our spirit goes, then the body is no longer alive. So chi is what keeps us living, moving. And when this life force energy is flowing freely through all the parts of our body, we're healthy and free of pain. When we are experiencing illness or pain, that's when they understand that chi is being blocked or slowed down in some area. The life force isn't flowing. It's getting congested. So again, similar ideas have been talked about in chakras, which talk about the energy centers of your body. And in Chinese medicine, it's very similar, chakras lining up with similar parts of our organs and other things. But they have have you ever seen those maps of a human body and like the chi lines and how everything's connected? It's fascinating and being proven by Western medical science as, oh, this does actually help people. And here, they're finally doing their empirical research to say, yeah, this works. So it's fascinating to me to think about like that blocking. So how does your chi, how does your life force get blocked? Well, really simple things is like locking your joints. And how many pictures have I seen of myself with my knees locked back? That is cutting off blood flow. Not completely, right? It's not like my foot's gonna fall off, but it's slowing it down immensely when you lock your joints in any way. So keeping them free flowing. I recently sat down at one of those little massage therapists who will give you like a 2-second shoulder rub to try to get you to book a massage. And as soon as she touched my shoulder, she was like, oh, you sleep on your arm, don't you? And I was like, yes, I do. That's kind of creepy that you know that. Like this, right? Like under your pillow, tucked up, curled up tight. And she's like, you're cutting off all the blood flow to your shoulder. That's why you got shoulder problems, which again, I didn't tell her any of that. She could just feel it. And so she's like, don't sleep on your arm. I was like, okay. So now I'm trying to like train myself to keep my arm down at night. But it's helping. It really is. Because you think about it, and I would wake up and my hand would be asleep. And that's no good. She was like yelling at me. I was like, okay, I won't sleep on my arm, I promise. It's crazy. So we want chi to be moving and flowing. We don't want it to get stuck. And sometimes we can not have enough chi that it can't reach all the areas it needs to reach. It'll prioritize, the core, but then you're having issues in the extremities if you don't have enough chi. And that was fascinating to me recently. I was like, well, how do you get more chi? And the acupuncturist said, well, mostly nutrition, herbs, medicine, things to help build your life force back up. But then she started listing off things like physical activity, breathing, positive social interaction, laughter, affection, crying, creative expression. Do any of those sound familiar to anyone who was here last week? They're the 7 ways of completing the stress cycle. How cool is that? So the things that help our body move out of fight or flight into rest and repair, come down, tell our bodies and our brains, you're safe now. Those same things are the things that literally give us life in general. They help us get our spark back, right? If somebody doesn't have a lot of chi, they might be depressed, lethargic, sort of mopey or angry or grumpy, you know, like they just don't have that spark of life. And those are the same things that help bring us back. Being with other people, creating something, laughing, being out in nature, you know, moving your body, right? If you don't use it, you lose it a lot of times. So it was so cool to me to hear that connection, that these are not just helpful things in crisis, but these are things we can keep doing all the time for general health and wellness. So not only do we move our bodies to let the physical energy flow through them, and we were thinking about the chi moving, but we also can get stuck chi when we are working to keep our emotions down, right? Unexpressed. When the emotion is happening inside and you're just, you know, you turn into like a doll on the outside and you're like, okay. And inside you're screaming, or whatever is going on. So that's another way of blocking our chi, when we're not letting the energy of emotion move through us. When we try to stop that energy from coming out, then it gets clogged up with the other healthy energy that needs to keep flowing. Now, it's not always appropriate, right, in every moment to let your emotions just flow. So sometimes we need to keep it together, but we have to have an outlet, right? And a lot of what that completing the stress cycle, that's what that's about, is like letting the energy of your emotions have an outlet, move through you, do something with your body to let the emotions out. It's incredible, the research I've seen. They've found that women in harmful marriages develop autoimmune diseases at far higher rates than other women. We hear all the time, trauma will cause physical illness, right? Soldiers with PTSD come back with all kinds of physical problems to also deal with. They tell us constantly, stress is a killer. You know, don't you love when the doctor's like, well, be careful, don't get too stressed. It's not, you'll have a heart attack. I'm like, well, that just makes me more stressed. Like, there's no solution there. Just like, don't get stressed out. Well, you're stressing me out right now. We carry that energy in us. All those emotions are in our bodies, in our flesh. And they are not always doing helpful things inside of us, right? If we're not able to let them flow, then they get stuck and can cause physical health issues. I mean, think about it. If a family member comes home and they've had a bad day, you know before you even see them, right? Like, you can hear the door slam and the setting down the keys, and you're like, uh-oh, right? Like, you feel the energy shift as soon as they come home. And you don't even have to say words or physically see them. You can feel it, right? I don't think I'm the only one. No. Yeah. You feel it. Or when you walk into a room where, like, a serious conversation just happened and you're like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna head back out. You know, you can feel the energy of other people's emotions. That's a good thing, right? That helps us live together relationally and know, like, oh, okay, I can feel whatever from you right now, so maybe you need some extra care, or maybe you need space, like whatever, or just a check-in, right? So when emotions are bottled up inside for a long time, they kind of become our aura. Like, that's what we're putting out, right? That unexpressed emotion. That's the energy that we are bringing with us everywhere we go. And there's this direct connection between our physical well-being and our emotional state. Whether we like to admit it or not, there is. You know, I think about like all the grumpy old people I know. Well, they're probably in a lot of pain, right? Pain makes you grumpy. It's really hard to stay happy and smiley when you're hurting. It takes an immense amount of energy for me, for example, to stay calm and to gentle parent through bedtime when I am exhausted. You know? Or when there's just too many sounds happening. Like it can, any number of external things can make it really difficult for us to keep our emotions in check or calm. And we sometimes just need to let those emotions out so we can return to that calm state. It really, I think too about the customer service representatives who are maybe like the most evolved of us that can just sit there and be berated and yelled at for something they cannot control. And they just stay calm and they say, I'm sorry, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, wow, that takes a lot of physical energy. That's using up a lot of chi to stay calm while someone's yelling at you, right? Because humans are so good at matching energy. Like, when somebody starts, we're right there. We are really good at just matching people where they come in. It takes a lot of work to have somebody who pops off and for us to say, okay. This is my favorite trick though. When someone starts yelling, I get quieter and quieter. Because then they are having a hard time hearing me because they're yelling so loud. And it really sometimes can piss them off. But it helps to remind everybody, like, let's just bring it down. When I'm at my best, right? When I'm not, I'm right there yelling back. We're all human. But the good news is humans can match energy really well. We're good at it. It's our natural inclination. We have a whole lot of incredible, peaceful, calm energy right outside our door that we can go match anytime we want. Even if you live in New York City, hop on the subway and get to Central Park, right? Like there are places you can find the energy of nature or creative energy or just beautiful gathering. You know, go to the disco or wherever, like go find a club and just dance and move. Like we can find places of positive, peaceful, or healing energy to connect with. We don't have to just rely on the people we live with, thank God, right? So my question is, what are some places that just feel good? The beach. What was over here? Here. Yeah, whenever anyone says, picture your happy place, it's right by the lake. Every time. What other places just feel good? Bed. I love bed, Bill. It's like one of my favorite places. Yes. Baltimore Harbor. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the yoga mat. Yeah. Just the beach, the ocean, yeah.
Anywhere with trees and a trail.
Trees.
Trees and a trail.
And a trail. A grill. Yeah. I've seen the like little internet meme a bunch of times that says something like, I don't know what it is, but there's something about forests and libraries that feels sacred, right? And everyone's always like, because they are. Because they are. Because they're a container for sacred energy, right? The forest is full of all these other beautiful life forms that we so easily forget about, that we're connected to, that we share percentages of our DNA with. And libraries are just places of free knowledge, right? Discovery, exploration, like such great energy. Whenever I would come here as a kid, coming to summer camp, we were coming from Pennsylvania, close to where Missy just came from, about an hour and a half. Yeah. And that whole drive felt like the car was full of water. Like I couldn't breathe. Like I just couldn't wait. And as soon as we would pull through those stone gates, it was like I could breathe again. Like I could really take a deep breath. It's like coming up from underwater. Now, as a stressed out young child, I was probably breathing pretty shallowly. And obviously you're excited and a little nervous for camp. But there is an energy about this place that just feels like a full deep breath. And I know it's not just me. I know I'm biased, but there have been so many people that I feel so blessed and just so lucky that I get to bring new people here who share that experience as they're like, wow, what is this place, you know? I'm sure there's like those energetic ley lines, right, that they know exist like around Stonehenge and these other ancient markers. I'm sure there are some here. I gotta look it up. But there's just a great energy to this place. The human body is animated by energy. Our life force is the force, right? The force that comes from the source. The central collection of all life that is the Creator, the Great Spirit. We are just little containers for that, right? We're all walking around with a little cup of life force within us. The same force of life that explodes galaxies and burns the stars and swirls through our planet is that life force that exists within each one of us and each one of them. Every living thing has this chi, this energy and aura. The Hebrews have the same word for spirit and breath, right? Ruach. We all have breath. We all have spirit within us. The thing that animates us is God, right in here. God is in this meat suit with me. That's the whole way I am able to be here speaking and moving right now. We are conduits of energy of all kinds. And we can get drained of our energy, or it can get tainted. We can pick up other people's energy. But at our core, our source is the twirling of the universe. There, whenever we need it. And the giver of this gift is also the giver of this gift, of the world, that is always here to help us connect, to remind us when we need that external reminder. The life force is strong in these kids. We got to pick up on that, right? So, whenever you need it, the good energy is there and here. We just got to find that connection and tap in.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Liz. I'm I'm on the board here with Church in the Wild, and I also own a center in Windsor called River Maven, and I share sound healing every week on my Facebook live stream. You can watch me for an hour at 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, except on laundry night when Barb needs you. But Corey invited me today to talk about the energy in our bodies, right? I'll expand on the chi philosophy, right? So obviously we're all animated through energy, life force energy, chi. And the Hindu belief system of the chakras, which I brought some tapestries, that we have these 7 spinning discs in our body, right, that correspond with different parts of our body. So it's not just one big ball of energy. We have all these smaller balls that kind of make up the bigger one. And just like Corey said, when things are out of whack, out of alignment, when the chi is blocked, or sometimes it's too free-flowing, it manifests into physical symptoms in our bodies. So as I'm playing the bowls for you, I will go through each one and tell you about the part of the body it correlates to, the kinds of things that can show up physically if you're out of balance in that area. And oftentimes what will happen is if you are out of balance, the sound will sound out of tune, or almost like maybe like a helicopter going around. If you experience that, just take deep breaths and allow the sound to do what it's supposed to do, which is to bring those areas of energy back into balance. I could just go on about sound because there's a whole rabbit hole of things. I'm so excited that the FDA has finally recognized sound as a complementary healing, a complementary therapy for chemotherapy and things like that. So people with cancer, I always say I won't say that it'll heal you, but it'll relax you, right? And if we're relaxed, our energy can flow freely, and that's better for us. That helps us to heal. So let's get comfortable for a few minutes and dive in. So we'll start at the base of our spine with our root chakra. This is the center for survival, our security, our stability. When this chakra is not having, balanced, free-flowing energy, we'll have problems with our hips, our legs, our feet, things like that. So we'll play, and each one of these, I'm not going to go through every single thing, but there's a color that's associated with it. There's a note on the musical scale. So if you decide to close your eyes, you may see those colors in your mind's eye. You may see patterns or shapes. Just go with it. Enjoy it. And so if we bring our awareness just a little bit above or below our belly button to our pelvic area, we come to our sacral chakra, which is the color orange resonates with it. And that's the center of our creative expression, our creator, our authenticity, the things we're passionate about, our soul fire, our sexuality, that all resides in that area. And if this is out of balance, you have problems with your reproductive organs, gallbladder, intestines, things like that. And then the center of our stomach is our solar plexus, which is yellow. And And this is the center for like our self-confidence, our personal power, our self-esteem, those types of things. And when this is out of balance, obviously digestive issues and things of that nature. Then moving up to the center of our chest, we come to our heart chakra, which is green, not pink like we would think, but. And of course, this is the center for our peace, our love, our joy. But this area, when it's out of balance, will have lung issues, right? Breathing issues, circulation issues, things of that nature. They have to do with our heart. So at the base of our neck is our throat chakra, which is blue. And this is obviously the center of our communication, our self-expression of feelings, also speaking the truth, and listening. It's our listening center as well. And if this is blocked, you'll have problems with your sinuses, your teeth, your jaw, things of that nature. Then we come to the center of our forehead to our third eye, and the color is indigo. And this is the center for our intuition, our imagination, our ability to think and make decisions. And when this is not balanced, you experience headaches, migraines, seizures, things of that nature. And then on the very top of our head is our crown chakra, which is violet. And it's the center for our cognition, our connection to spirituality, to our higher self. And when this is out of balance, things like dementia, epilepsy, and delusions may be something that you suffer from. All right, so I'll just invite you now to just relax, and I'll just play for a few minutes and allow you to just let things go, close your eyes, just be at peace. Let those unbalanced parts of you get balanced. Allow you to slowly come back to the present, wiggling fingers and toes, taking deep breaths.
Deep peace of the running blood within you. Deep peace to the flowing air within you. Deep peace to the stretching muscles within you. Deep peace to the quiet bones within you. Deep peace to the shining skin around you. Deep peace of the infinite peace you carry within you. And we'll sing peace, salam, shalom. 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 Peace, salam, shalom.